Happy Halloween, everybody, and boy, do we have the spookiest drop list of all time.
Whee! Ooh.
Stay tuned. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, spooky episode of ComicGains. If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Rojas, looking very lovely day. Just like usual, willing to deliver the package and give a princess away. Out of respect, and of course, there's Coco.
All right. Got the whole team back together. All right, guys. Today is Monday. We're only one day away from Halloween. This is Halloween Eve. Is that like a real thing? Halloween Eve?
I don't think.
It should be,
All
right?
Hallows Eve. Oh.
Eve? Eve of the... Yeah.
Or day. I don't know.
I don't know. We should know. Anyway, but what we do on every Monday, guys, is the ComicGains group gets together, scours the internet for trending lists, hot lists, any kind of speculatory comic book list. The books that were hot, and we wait 1 year, a whole year, and then we figure out which books have gone down, and they make it on the drop list. And these are the 5 biggest drop comic books of the week, and it's really fun. We give you kind of an idea of maybe you should be taking a second look at these books, because everyone forgot about them. It might be a good idea to pick these up, or sometimes they were just a bad investment to begin with, and you should forget that they ever existed. Just pull that memory out of your brain and toss it away.
Yes.
But you do want a memory of a brand new drink, so pull that memory and put it back in.
It's a grape drink. I guess it's a grape drink. It has grapes in it. I don't know what it says because it's in Japanese or Korean or some language I don't understand.
Oh, you got a couple of them. It looks syrupy.
It is a little syrupy.
Is it?
Not bad.
There's no alcohol though, right?
I don't know. I don't have to drive. Yeah, it's pretty good.
We ain't got no driving, but it's good though. Yeah, I picked it up at our local Asian market. We're not sure what it is, but Zach says it tastes delicious.
It's delicious. This is what it looks like.
Hopefully they're grapes, or they could be alien balls.
Oh, wow.
It is Halloween. Alien balls, right? They probably look the same.
Yeah, most likely. Small and inferior.
And delicious?
To our bowl.
Alright, guys. Let's get back to the drop list. We have an exciting list for you this week, and unfortunately a lot of these don't have anything to do with Halloween, although the background does. This list has a lot to do with upcoming Disney Plus shows, or possibly failed upcoming Disney Plus shows. That, you know, a lot of things have been going on in the Disney Plus world, and Kevin Feige was like, whoa, our whole design for Marvel TV shows isn't working out very well, and instead of doing like 10-hour-long Marvel movies that we cut up into hour-long episodes or 6-hour-long, maybe we should go back to like a real TV formula, which might be a better idea, right? Might be better. So let's get into it. Number 5 on the list, the least drop book of the week, and I'm surprised. I thought this would be number 1. It's 181, not the Hulk. It's the Avengers 181, 1979, guys. George Perez and Dave Michelini, 2 great creators. Look, typical like George Perez cover. Look how many people are on that cover.
Yeah, it's amazing.
There's a bunch. If you guys don't know what this book is, it is the first appearance of Scott Lang before becoming Ant-Man. So pretty fun key. They kind of get together, the Avengers, and they're starting to create like a new Avengers. So it's also the first appearance of a new Avengers team. A whole different Beast is on this team. Kind of a fun time for them. And few books later, in a little gem called Marvel Premiere 47, we get to see Scott Lang don the costume. So he's got 2 nice keys to go along with it. Yeah. And it goes along the same storyline as the movie, the first Ant-Man movie, where, you know, he kind of is a thief and he gets the costume from the Hank Pym, and very similar story, but cool nonetheless. Everyone had high hopes for Ant-Man Quantumania. I know I did. The first Ant-Man is one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. Paul Rudd kills it. Unfortunately, Quantumania was not that good. You may like, you may not. It was really good the first time I watched it. The second time I watched it, you really got to see way too much green screen action going on in that movie, and it didn't quite feel like an Ant-Man movie. It felt more like a Kang movie. Yeah. So, but you know how that goes. Anyway, this book was hot again because of Ant-Man Quantumania, and it is back on the drop list. Like I said, I kind of expect this to be more of a drop, but there was a point where this book was really expensive, like over $200 in a raw, like high grade copy, which is crazy to me. But Zach will get you those real graded numbers you guys are looking for.
Well, Scott Lang stole a heart a year ago for a CGC 9.8 for the Avengers 181, $451. Now the spell has been broken. It's at $350. Range $288 to $650. Average sell at $412. It's a 22% drop. There's 1,940 total graded. Only 226 of them are 9.8. That's 12% of total graded.
That's probably why it didn't drop so much.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Hard to find
you stick to the Zach's tried and true 25% rule, you'll probably see those gains.
I may or may not have stole that.
Okay.
But
you may or may not, but yeah.
Prove it.
Right? Right, yeah. But it's cool. That's a good book. I would have thought, because 47 went real tanker, and I would have thought that would have been all right. Number 4 on the list. We had to bring that DC goodness, guys. We got Green Lantern 87 from 1971. Oh, a beautiful book. I have never had this in my collection. I would love to have it one day. It's on my bucket list. The Neil Adams, Dennis O'Neil, great group of guys working together on this book. And this is the first appearance of John Stewart, the Green Lantern, which I always thought was cool. He had the same name as the comedian John Stewart, but totally different person. And also the second appearance of Guy Gardner, so it's a nice double key, which gives it that great oomph, the ambiance, that ring, power ring. But this book was hot last year because we've been waiting for this HBO Green Lantern TV show since they announced it in 2019. They were like, hey, we're going to do this awesome Green Lantern TV show. It's going to have everybody you can think of in it. Everybody. Hal Jordan, Alan Scott, Guy Gardner, John Stewart. Name a few other ones. They were probably going to be in it.
Hal Jordan?
Jessica Cruz. I just said Hal Jordan. Everybody. And what they realize is DC needs to stop putting everybody in a movie together or a TV show. Just cut it down. And they canned it. They canned that series, and they're like, we're not going to do it that way. James Gunn took over, hired some new people, and he's like, what we need? We're just going to strip it down. And it's just going to be John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and it's going to be true detective style, which is going to be amazing. They're just going to be two cops flying around the galaxy for the Green Lantern Corps solving mysteries. And I know these two haven't seen True Detectives, and I'm hoping for them to see it. It's so good, so amazing that I have high hopes for the show. It's gonna be really cool. So I don't know. Hope to get this one day. Zach will get you with those numbers. Maybe it's a good time to.
So for Green Lantern 87, it was green on a year ago for 9.6. Was $4,000. Now it's $2,957. Range $2,957 to $4,000. Average sales $3,375. It's a 26% drop. A 9.8 has sold for $10,500. There's 2,246 total graded. 35 of them are 9.8. That's only 2% of total graded.
Good God. I've heard, not from experience, but I've heard this book is very hard to get in a 9.8. Super hard. I don't know what they were doing with the paper at that time, but there's been a tried and true good book for a long time.
Toilet paper.
Hopefully not toilet paper. Speaking of books that have taken a huge drop, and this is a repeat offender on the drop list. It's not its first time to the rodeo. And probably won't be its last. We got Young Avengers #1, 2005. We got Jim Chung, Alan Heinberg, and these covers on all these books are amazing. Super underrated covers on all these Young Avengers books. This is just overall a great key, a great story. It's first team appearance of the Young Avengers. Couple of good first appearances. You got Kate Bishop, Patriot, Iron Lad, and you got Wiccan and Hulkling have other first appearances, but they're on the team as well. You later on get Stature in a later issue. I think it's like 2 or 3. Issue 3, you get Stature join the team. But great story. You got a mystery that kind of goes on with this. It leads into more Kang goodness, where Iron Lad's secretly an early version of Kang, but he wants to be a hero. And there's a bunch of really fun things that happen with this story. And Wiccan's been a really important character in the MCU right now, and it's a very fun story. Hulkling is actually a scroll in disguise, so we could even see something going along with that. But in October of 2022, which was what, Zach? A year ago?
A year ago?
A year ago, Wiccan and the actor Billy Kaplan were confirmed to reprise his role on the Agatha TV show. It's going to be on Disney Plus, which hopefully that hasn't gotten canceled. I don't know. I feel like they're just going to be canceling shows. That show was supposed to come out, but I don't even know if that's even going to come through. But that spiked this book a lot. It has been a very good book for a long time, and for a while it was really expensive, way over $1,000 in a 9.8. And a lot of people, there's so many first appearances, we've been speculating on this for a long time, but every year it slowly drops and drops and drops. And I still feel like they're going to do this, but it's hard to say if it's going to have that same, that same importance that it would have had, because a lot of people don't have the same trust in the MCU that they once had. It's not a guarantee that everything they put out is going to be good. So there's a chance they could make this and it'll be bad, but I don't know. It's hard to say. There used to be a lot of good variants of this book to go after. It's really only the main one, and then there's one super rare Wizard 9.5, which I've never seen in person, but it's like when they take those first runs off the print, right? And then they slam it into like a 9.5 CGC Wizard edition. And
it's red.
Kind of a weird thing, but they're really expensive and really rare, so keep your eye out. If you see a 9.5, it's not fake. It's just Wizard.
It's true.
Yeah.
Wizard. So they assembled Young a year ago at $445. Now it just got old at $300 for a CGC 9.8. Range $222 to a high of $1,599.
I remember those days.
Average sale is $390. It's a 33% drop. There's 5,757 total graded. 2,322 of them are 9.8 universal. It's 40% of total grade. That's a lot. I'm not surprised.
Surprised it's not higher though for the newer book though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
2005. It's almost 20 years old. It's crazy.
Nice.
But still, in my opinion, still a good book to speculate on. It's just probably not going to have those immediate gains like we all thought it was going to have 4 years ago. You're like, buy this book, you're definitely going to make money on it. It may be like, buy this book, you're definitely going to make money on it 5 to 10 years from now. It might not be next year.
Yeah.
The way things are going. So it's hard to say. The next book on the list, though, you probably will make money on, because we got to go all the way back to the Silver Age for this next book. Number 2 on the list, and Silver Age might be your safest bet.
Yes.
Golden Age is always the safest, but Silver's been pretty strong. You got Avengers number 9 from 1964. Jack Kirby, Stan Lee. I don't think it gets any better than that, depending on who you talk to. It's about as good as it gets. First appearance and death of Wonder Man. He dies in this book as well. Simon Williams, just a really cool story. He starts out as a villain. He has kind of like these ionic, really cool powers, and he ends up getting killed in this first book, and he's brought back many times, and he's involved with a lot of other things. I think even at one point they download his brain into a computer and use it to make the first Vision. Like Ultron takes his brain and puts it into Vision's body, and that's how they kind of get it. So he's used a bunch of times over, and at this point now in the Marvel world, he's actually one of the strongest beings out there. I think he's a pacifist now. He actually doesn't like fighting, but gone through a bunch of cool stuff, and he went to Hollywood, did a bunch of fun things there, became an actor, which leads us into last year, the announcements that Yahya Abdul-Mateen will be playing him, and this again is a possibility, because for sure there was going to be a Wonder Man TV show, but maybe not now. Who knows? Maybe there's canceling all the Disney Plus TV shows. But great actor. We all saw him in Aquaman play Black Manta, as well as like a bunch of other really cool movies. He's been a great actor for a long time, and I think that's really exciting. Him playing Wonder Man. I know there was a possibility Wonder Man was going to show up in I think Captain America 1, First Avenger. He was going to be like maybe at the World Event show that they were going to do, but they kind of cut that scene, so we didn't get to see him there. And if this movie does come out, it's going to be like a struggling actor in Hollywood type TV show, which a lot of people I thought was going to be real good and funny. Hopefully it is, if they make this show. I still think, like, as a strong comic book fan, everything would be fun and exciting to watch, because I like comic, but for the people out there that watch the show that aren't huge comic book fans, they might not enjoy it as much. It's hard to say, kind of like the whole She-Hulk thing. If it falls down that same rabbit hole, we will We will find out. But Zach will hit you the numbers on this Strong Silber's book.
It was wonderful a day, a wonderful world. A year ago, for a CQC 8.0 was $1,400. Now, you lived it. You had enough of it. It's $900 now. Range $900 to $1,440. Average sale was $1,190. It's a 37% drop. There's 1,911 of them
in an 8.0
in a Universal. There's 1,911 total graded. One of them is a 9.8.
Wow!
I'm just gonna say it's 1%. It's less than 1%, but it's 1%. I'm rounding up, guys.
There's only one 9.8.
Only one.
That's crazy. Fun fact too is it's one of George R.R. Martin's favorite Marvel stories. He actually was able to write about it in a later issue and say how much he appreciated this story, which kind of leads you to think maybe that's why he kills off so many of his main characters throughout the show, because he liked that they brought in Wonder Man and killed him off immediately. So kind of cool. Fun fact for you.
Fun fact.
If you made it all the way to now, it's #1 book of the week, and this one's crazy. West Coast Avengers 45, 1989. John Byrne, double John Byrne. So who's John Byrne's amazing anyways.
John Byrne.
Yeah, just crazy.
Good.
And this is a fun book and a very interesting book. So first appearance of the colorless Vision, and it's part of the Vision Quest series. So he was basically captured, and I think actually like Mockingbird and some other people accidentally turned him over to some bad people and feel bad about it later. They disassembled him, took him apart, reassembled him as the colorless version, and where he had no emotions. And this book came out in 1989, so it's relatively old, but not that old. And when everyone was speculating we're going to see the colorless Vision in the MCU, this book like skyrocketed, like went to the moon crazy prices, like over $1,000 in a 9.8 for a book that's mediocrely old. And there's a lot of people who are like, that's crazy. Like, this book should not be that expensive. But then there was a lot of people that were like, hey, it should be that expensive. It's a cool book. I think somewhere down the road, it they kind of came back to probably what it should have been, and it's really not that expensive of a book anymore, which is kind of where it was like almost like $10, $15 book for a long time before it went crazy. A lot of stuff, this had to do with WandaVision leading up to it. We figured we'd see the White Vision, which we got him, and it was cool. And last year in October, they announced that there was going to be possibly a Vision Quest spin-off TV show on Disney Plus. Again, I'm assuming this probably will get canceled. If it does happen, I don't know. Paul Bettany has been awesome this entire time. He's one of the longest running actors in the MCU, being the voice of Jarvis in the original Iron Man, so he's been in it from the beginning. Fun fact as well, when I was a kid, there was this really cool video game that came out called Captain America and the Avengers on the Sega Genesis, and in that game, Vision was white. The White Vision, and for some reason I always thought he was White Vision. I didn't realize he was the Red Vision originally until I got to see the comic book later on. But I was like, what do you mean Vision's a different guy? I always thought he was White Vision. But he's not. He was originally the Red Vision. And if you didn't know, this is also an homage to Avengers 57. And if there was ever a good homage, it would be this book. I think it makes sense to homage another book, because you have the coming of the Red Vision, then you have the coming of the White Vision. It's a cool homage. I mean, there's a lot of homages that are stupid. This is a cool one, I think.
Right.
But it'd probably never get back to its former glory. And that weird period of time when people didn't think it should have been that expensive, and it probably shouldn't have been, but Zach will get you with those real numbers.
Yeah, it was coming all over the place. Super white. At 450 years ago, for 9.8, $450. That's a year ago. $450 a year ago. Now, it's selling for about $181. It's been, cleaned. It's in a white room now. It's cleaned. It's not dirty anymore. Anyways, range $181 to $450 is the high. $288 is the average. It's 60% drop. There's 2,336 of them total graded. 275 of them are 9.8s. It's a 12% of total graded.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. You would have think with that low of rating that it would have been a little bit worth money. I know from my personal experience, we've graded a couple and they all came back 9.6 that I thought they looked perfect. So maybe there's a conspiracy against the White Vision.
Maybe.
But, all right, guys, you've made it to the end of the show, and you get Zach's expert opinion as the resident grader around here.
Oh yeah.
Grader?
Yeah.
Third grader?
Opinion grader. So I think the bargain is the West Coast Avengers 45. I think that's something that you can buy it right now because of the ratio. It's only 20% of total grade for the 9.8.
That's a good point.
So
really good point.
I think that would be a great book to get a great return on, and it's a great cover and a great key. I would say this is going to be the conversational factor. This is going to be the arguments right here. I'm going to say Green Lantern 87 as the book you want to get continuous gains.
That's what I was thinking.
Avengers 9 is cool, and you probably could get something out of it, but I think just because this book has been popular for so long, and they haven't really done anything with the character in the DCU. So I think maybe they will do it, and I think it's going to go big. It's already been hot when they haven't said a dang thing about it, up until recently probably, and now they're eventually going to use that character. I would get it right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I hate to say this as a Marvel guy, but the MCU is definitely kind of going on the decline. Hopefully it comes back, because I love Marvel a lot more than I like DC, but with James Gunn taking over the DCU, not the DCEU, to be confused with the old one, that one, I mean, we haven't really seen the first movie, but it seems like it's going on the incline. I don't know. That's a lot of work to be a showrunner for all that time. And I give Feige definitely gets a thumbs up for going this long. Mm-hmm. It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard to keep pumping out like gems every time, and everyone expects it to be a gem.
Right.
You can't always one up yourself. It's just not possible.
Yeah, sometimes it gets cold.
That's true.
You can't work it. You don't get enough pressure to make that into a diamond.
That works. All right, guys. As usual, do us a huge favor on this Halloween's Eve and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell if you want to see Princess do more cosplays. She didn't even get up for you on the show. Maybe she'll have to get up for you if you hit that like button.
And subscribe.
And Zach, you got anything extra?
Yeah, you got to share. How you do that is manage your time right, guys. Manage your time right by watching more ComicGains.
That's true.
And that's how you get those gains.
Yep.
All right.